Communication is the single most powerful tool that humans possess. It is the bridge that connects thoughts to action, ideas to understanding, and individuals to one another. Without communication, even the most brilliant strategies, the most innovative ideas, and the deepest intentions remain trapped within the confines of the mind. Imagine a world where knowledge exists but cannot be shared, where solutions to problems lie unspoken, and where potential remains locked behind unexpressed words. In that world, progress would halt, relationships would crumble, and opportunities would vanish. The ability to communicate effectively is not merely an asset, it is a superpower, one that can influence minds, inspire change, and create lasting impact. It transcends language, culture, and geography. It is not restricted to eloquent speech or polished writing. True communication lies in connecting meaningfully, conveying ideas with clarity, and fostering understanding that moves others to act. Every leader, every innovator, every person who has achieved greatness owes much of their success to their ability to communicate. Consider the statesman Katsura Tarō of Japan, whose life provides a remarkable illustration of this principle. Born in 1848, Katsura lived during a time of profound transformation in Japan. The country was moving from centuries of feudal isolation toward modernization and integration with the global community. In such turbulent times, leadership required not only vision, but also the ability to articulate that vision in a way that resonated with both the public and political peers. Katsura's strength lay not only in his strategic mind, but in his extraordinary capacity to convey his ideas convincingly. Through dialogue, negotiation, and careful articulation, he guided Japan through challenging political landscapes, balancing competing interests while maintaining national stability. His success underscores a timeless truth. The ability to communicate effectively amplifies influence and power in ways that mere authority or force cannot achieve. Communication extends far beyond spoken words. It encompasses listening, reading situations, understanding perspectives, and responding with empathy and clarity. Many people underestimate the importance of listening, yet it is often the most critical component of communication. Listening allows us to understand needs, uncover hidden challenges, and discover solutions that might otherwise remain obscure. Katsura Tarō demonstrated this as a diplomat and politician, often engaging with various factions and stakeholders, seeking to understand their motivations before attempting to persuade them. In doing so, he avoided conflict where others might have caused friction, and he built alliances that strengthened Japan's position domestically and internationally. His success highlights that communication is not a one-way street. It is a dynamic, interactive process that combines expression with reception. The greatest communicators are those who not only speak well, but also absorb and understand the world around them. Moreover, communication shapes perception and inspires confidence. A well-articulated message can galvanize people to act, even in the face of uncertainty or adversity. Consider the countless moments in history when nations have been shaped by speeches, debates, or conversations. Words have rallied troops, influenced policy, and changed the course of events. The power of communication lies in its ability to transform abstract ideas into tangible action. Katsura Taro's career demonstrates this vividly. In the early 20th century, Japan faced complex challenges, including navigating relationships with Western powers and addressing internal social reforms. Katsura's skill in communicating Japan's positions clearly and persuasively allowed him to negotiate treaties, manage political rivalries, and earn the respect of international counterparts. The lesson is clear. Leadership without communication is directionless, but leadership anchored in clear, strategic, and empathetic communication can move nations and communities alike. Effective communication also cultivates trust. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, whether personal, professional, or political. When individuals communicate openly, honestly, and consistently, they signal reliability and integrity. Katsura Tarō, despite navigating a politically volatile environment, maintained credibility through his methodical, reasoned, and transparent communication. He understood that words could not be empty. They had to align with action. People, whether citizens, colleagues, or allies, are drawn to those who communicate with authenticity. This trust enables collaboration, strengthens teams, and ensures that collective efforts can achieve far more than isolated actions. In our own lives, whether we are leading projects, building businesses, or nurturing personal relationships, the ability to communicate effectively directly impacts the depth and strength of the bonds we form. The modern world places an even higher premium on communication than in the past. With technology connecting billions across continents, ideas can spread faster than ever before. However, this rapid communication also comes with the challenge of standing out amidst noise, misinformation, and misunderstanding. The principles that Katsura Tarō exemplified are as relevant today as they were a century ago. Clarity, empathy, and strategic articulation. We must learn not only to speak, but to ensure our message resonates, to craft communication that bridges differences rather than widens them. In professional settings, a single well-phrased email, a compelling presentation, or a thoughtfully delivered conversation can open doors, resolve conflicts, and create opportunities that would otherwise remain inaccessible. On a personal level, effective communication nurtures empathy, deepens connections, and prevents misunderstandings that can escalate into irreparable harm. Furthermore, the power to communicate is intrinsically tied to influence. Influence is not coercion. It is the ability to guide others' thinking, inspire action, and foster alignment towards shared goals. Communication is the vehicle through which influence travels. Consider how leaders across history, from political figures to social reformers, have leveraged the spoken and written word to motivate, persuade, and unify. Katsura Taro's diplomacy demonstrates this principle clearly. By communicating Japan's interests with precision, he was able to secure outcomes that advanced his nation's strategic goals while maintaining harmonious relations with other countries. His approach illustrates that influence is not wielded through authority alone. It is cultivated through consistent, thoughtful, and empathetic communication. Another dimension of communication is its role in problem solving. Every challenge, whether individual or collective, hinges on the exchange of ideas. When communication is blocked, solutions remain elusive and frustration grows. Katsura Tarō often faced intricate political dilemmas, requiring negotiation, compromise, and strategic foresight. His success was not solely the result of intelligence or determination, but also of his ability to communicate, to frame issues, present options, and persuade stakeholders to align with his vision. This demonstrates that communication is not passive. It is an active, creative process that transforms obstacles into opportunities. The ability to articulate challenges clearly, invite collaboration, and guide discussions toward constructive solutions is a skill that empowers individuals to shape outcomes rather than be shaped by circumstances. In addition to strategic and professional applications, communication also enriches personal development. Expressing thoughts, ideas, and emotions accurately allows individuals to understand themselves better and grow. Writing, speaking, or even discussing ideas helps clarify beliefs, reveal priorities, and uncover blind spots. Listening to others provides insight into diverse perspectives, enhancing empathy and emotional intelligence. Katsura Taro's career reminds us that the most effective communicators are lifelong learners. They engage in continuous dialogue, seek to expand understanding, and adapt their methods to the needs of those they aim to reach. In this way, communication is both a tool for external influence and an instrument for internal growth, shaping character and refining judgment. Ultimately, the ultimate power lies not in wealth, authority, or brute strength. It lies in the power to communicate. Wealth can be squandered, authority can be challenged, and strength can be overpowered. But the ability to convey ideas, inspire belief, and guide action is enduring. Communication unlocks potential that remains dormant in silence. It amplifies the reach of knowledge, and it bridges gaps that might otherwise divide. Katsura Taro's life serves as a historical testament to this principle. His achievements were not merely a product of position or intellect, but of his extraordinary capacity to communicate effectively, to connect with people, and to influence outcomes through clarity, empathy, and precision. Communication is not merely a transactional act. It is transformational. It transforms understanding into action, ideas into realities, and relationships into networks of influence and support. Its power lies in its ability to reach beyond the superficial and engage deeply with human motivation, emotion, and intellect. Every interaction, whether formal or casual, carries the potential to inspire, educate, and influence. Those who master this art wield a power that surpasses material resources, command, or authority, because their words can create movement, shape perspectives, and leave legacies that endure long after their presence has passed. Katsura Taro's life offers a blueprint for understanding this power in practice. His ability to navigate the complexities of Japanese politics during an era of modernization and international tension was rooted in his mastery of communication. Through dialogue, strategic discourse, and persuasive negotiation, he strengthened alliances, resolved conflicts, and advanced his nation's interests with subtlety and effectiveness that brute force could never achieve. One of the remarkable aspects of communication is its universality. Unlike many forms of power, it is not confined to a specific social class, profession, or nationality. Every person, regardless of background, has the capacity to communicate, though the effectiveness of their communication may vary. This universality makes it a democratizing force, enabling individuals to influence, inspire, and lead regardless of formal authority. However, this power is only fully realized when communication is intentional and mindful. Random or careless words can mislead, create conflict, or diminish credibility, whereas deliberate, thoughtful expression builds trust, fosters understanding, and opens doors. Katsura Tarō exemplified this principle. His speeches, negotiations, and interactions were never casual. They were carefully considered, aimed at creating alignment, resolving tension, and building lasting relationships. The strategic use of language amplified his influence and ensured that his leadership endured through complex political landscapes. Effective communication requires more than mere vocabulary or grammatical skill. It requires understanding the audience. Words have power only when they resonate with those who hear them. This involves perception, empathy, and adaptability. Katsura Tarō understood that successful negotiation depended not only on presenting facts, but on understanding the values, fears, and priorities of those he engaged with. He adapted his language, tone, and messaging to ensure clarity and receptiveness, whether he was addressing political rivals, international diplomats, or the Japanese public. The lesson for anyone seeking to harness the power of communication is clear. Knowing your audience and tailoring your message to their perspective is as important as the message itself. This is where communication transcends rhetoric. It becomes a bridge between intent and comprehension, shaping outcomes in profound ways. Furthermore, communication has the power to inspire resilience. During times of crisis, individuals and communities look to those who can articulate solutions, instill confidence, and offer hope. The words of leaders can calm fear, encourage persistence, and galvanize action. Katsura Tarō, leading Japan during periods of social and political transformation, demonstrated the ability to use communication to steady uncertain environments. His speeches and negotiations conveyed confidence and foresight, enabling allies and citizens to trust in the direction of leadership. This shows that communication is not merely about sharing information. It is about shaping perception, inspiring courage, and fostering a sense of possibility, even amid uncertainty. The impact of communication extends to personal empowerment. Being able to express one's thoughts, ideas, and needs effectively enhances self-confidence and agency. It allows individuals to advocate for themselves, build relationships, and seize opportunities that would otherwise remain out of reach. In professional and social contexts alike, those who communicate with clarity, conviction, and authenticity are often the most influential, respected, and successful. Katsura Taro's diplomatic career demonstrates this vividly. His ability to present Japan's position persuasively, negotiate outcomes effectively, and build strategic consensus illustrates how communication empowers individuals to exert influence far beyond their immediate environment. The power to articulate, persuade, and connect becomes a multiplier for both personal and collective success. Communication also underpins innovation. Ideas alone cannot transform the world. They require articulation, explanation, and persuasion to gain traction. Innovators, scientists, and leaders must communicate their vision to collaborators, stakeholders, and the wider public. Katsura Taro's leadership provides insight into this process. Modernizing Japan required not just plans and policies, but the ability to communicate their necessity and benefits convincingly. By framing reforms, treaties, and initiatives in ways that were comprehensible and compelling, Katsura enabled collaboration, minimized resistance, and ensured progress. This principle applies universally. The ultimate value of an idea is determined not solely by its intrinsic merit, but by one's ability to communicate it effectively to those who can bring it to fruition. The ability to communicate is not static. It is cultivated through practice, reflection, and learning. Even the most naturally gifted communicators refine their skills over time, responding to feedback, observing outcomes, and adjusting their approach. Katsura Taro's career exemplifies this iterative development. He engaged with a wide range of stakeholders, learning from successes and setbacks, refining his communication strategies to align with evolving circumstances. For us today, this highlights the importance of intentional practice. Listening actively, speaking clearly, and considering the impact of words are all aspects of building mastery. Communication is not simply an inherent talent. It is a skill that grows with experience, diligence, and awareness. The ultimate power of communication lies not just in speaking or writing, but in creating meaningful connections that inspire action and transform lives. It is the thread that weaves individuals into teams, communities into movements, and ideas into reality. Every conversation, every message, every exchange of ideas carries the potential to shift perspectives and change trajectories. Katsura Taro's life offers a vivid illustration of this principle in practice. His political career spanned decades of upheaval and transformation in Japan, yet his ability to communicate effectively allowed him to navigate challenges, build consensus, and enact policies that strengthened his nation's position at home and abroad. By studying his approach, we see that communication is not simply a skill. It is a strategy, a form of influence that can amplify talent, intelligence, and vision far beyond ordinary reach. Communication also serves as a catalyst for leadership. True leaders are not those who demand compliance, but those who convey purpose and vision so compellingly that others willingly follow. Katsura Tarō understood this implicitly. Leadership during his era required not only foresight, but the ability to articulate that foresight in a manner that resonated with both allies and adversaries. He demonstrated that influence derived from communication is more sustainable than authority imposed by power alone. Words have the unique ability to transform fear into courage, doubt into confidence, and resistance into collaboration. Leaders who cultivate this ability can inspire teams to achieve what might seem impossible, motivate nations to overcome crises, and encourage individuals to rise above limitations. The power to communicate is also deeply intertwined with emotional intelligence. Communication is not merely the transmission of facts. It is the exchange of meaning shaped by understanding, empathy, and emotional awareness. Those who can read emotions, sense the undercurrents of conversation, and respond thoughtfully create stronger connections and exert greater influence. Katsura Tarō excelled in this regard, navigating a political landscape that required sensitivity to cultural norms, personal pride, and competing interests. His interactions were marked by tact, consideration, and strategic empathy, which allowed him to gain trust and achieve objectives, even in situations fraught with tension. This aspect of communication teaches us that effectiveness comes not just from what we say, but from how we understand and respond to others, creating alignment between intention and reception. Communication is also the backbone of conflict resolution. Misunderstandings, assumptions, and misinterpretations are often at the root of disputes. The ability to clarify, explain, and mediate can prevent conflicts from escalating and transform disagreements into opportunities for collaboration. Katsura Tarō often faced situations where differing visions and interests threatened political stability. Through careful communication, he managed to find common ground, articulate compromises, and align diverse factions towards shared goals. This demonstrates a profound lesson. Conflict is not eliminated by dominance or suppression, but by dialogue, understanding, and the ability to convey perspectives constructively. In both personal and professional contexts, mastering this skill allows us to navigate challenges with confidence and create solutions that serve the greater good. The modern era amplifies the importance of communication even further. In a world connected by technology, ideas spread faster than ever, but clarity and authenticity have become more essential. Messages compete for attention in a constant stream of information, making the ability to communicate effectively a distinguishing factor between influence and obscurity. Here, Katsura Taro's example remains instructive. While he operated in a pre-digital age, his principles clarity, empathy, adaptability, and strategic intent are timeless. In today's context, these qualities can be applied through speeches, digital content, presentations, and everyday interactions. The medium may evolve, but the essence of effective communication connecting meaningfully, inspiring action, and building trust remains unchanged. One of the most profound ways communication empowers individuals is through its capacity to shape legacy. What we say, how we express ourselves, and the ideas we leave behind influence not only those around us today, but also future generations. Katsura Taro's diplomatic achievements, policy reforms, and strategic negotiations had lasting effects on Japan's development, influencing political, economic, and social structures long after his tenure ended. Similarly, individuals in every field can harness communication to leave meaningful impacts, whether through mentorship, writing, advocacy, or leadership. The words we choose, the clarity with which we express our vision, and the empathy with which we engage others create ripples that extend far beyond the immediate moment. Moreover, communication is intrinsically linked to personal growth. Articulating ideas forces clarity of thought, encourages reflection, and strengthens critical thinking. Engaging with diverse perspectives through dialogue broadens understanding, challenges assumptions, and nurtures intellectual flexibility. Katsura Taro's career exemplified lifelong learning through communication. He was not content with passive authority. He engaged actively with ideas, debates, and discussions, refining his strategies, broadening his perspective, and adapting to evolving circumstances. This teaches a vital lesson. The power to communicate is also the power to evolve, to grow intellectually and emotionally, and to expand influence by integrating knowledge with expression. In addition, effective communication fosters resilience and adaptability, the ability to convey ideas clearly under pressure, to persuade in the face of resistance, and to remain calm during uncertainty transforms challenges into opportunities. Katsura Tarō demonstrated these qualities repeatedly, navigating domestic and international pressures, political rivalries, and societal change. His approach highlights the role of communication as both a shield and a tool protecting relationships and reputation while enabling strategic action. Individuals who develop these skills are better equipped to handle adversity, negotiate effectively, and maintain composure in high-stakes situations. Communication, in this sense, is not only a means of influence, but a source of strength and stability. The ultimate power of communication is also evident in its ability to unite. Human progress relies on collaboration, and collaboration depends on the ability to convey shared purpose, align goals, and inspire coordinated action. Katsura Taro's diplomatic successes illustrate this principle clearly. By effectively communicating Japan's positions, intentions, and expectations, he forged alliances, reduced friction, and created conditions for collective progress. On a personal level, the ability to communicate unites families, strengthens teams, and nurtures communities. It transforms isolation into engagement, and ambiguity into clarity. In essence, communication creates coherence in a world otherwise fragmented by differences in perspective, background, and priorities. Finally, communication is the ultimate amplifier of human potential. Intelligence, creativity, and skill are magnified through effective expression. Ideas remain inert until shared. Strategies remain unimplemented until conveyed, and vision remains unrealized until communicated. Katsura Taro's life is a testament to this amplification. His intellect, strategic acumen, and foresight were magnified through his ability to communicate, enabling him to shape outcomes that extended far beyond his personal capacity. For every individual, this presents an empowering truth. No matter one's position, resources, or circumstances, mastering the art of communication multiplies influence, creates opportunity, and leaves enduring impact. In conclusion, the ultimate power is indeed the power to communicate. It bridges minds, builds trust, inspires action, resolves conflict, and shapes legacy. Katsura Taro's life demonstrates that effective communication is not merely an accessory to leadership. It is the engine that drives influence, guides decision-making, and cultivates lasting success. Every word, every gesture, and every act of listening holds the potential to transform situations, relationships, and lives. By cultivating clarity, empathy, and strategic expression, individuals unlock a power greater than wealth, authority, or brute strength. The capacity to communicate effectively is the force that turns thought into action, intention into reality, and vision into legacy. It is a skill, an art, and a responsibility. Master it, and you hold the ultimate power, the power to shape minds, inspire hearts, and leave a mark that endures across time.